Yeah, cool, man. Keep going on that, and then, you know, when funny stuff comes up, bring it out. And don't be afraid to say jokes that don't hit the mark either, okay? If you say jokes that don't hit the mark and you think it's funny and you laugh, that in essence is fine, and girls will be like, okay, well, he thinks it's funny, that's okay, then I don't find it funny. And often, when you find things are funny or you start laughing, girls will actually feel left out, because they're like, what, I don't get it, like, oh, I feel, you know, awkward because this guy is actually, like, laughing and joking, and I feel left out, and they're like, oh, am I silly, am I not getting the joke, or, you know, it often won't be not because it's not funny, they just don't, you know, they're in their heads and they're confused about it. Okay, so yeah, I hope that answers your question. Krish Patel, what do you do in order to get yourself into the right mindset to just go? I have no problem doing it during the night, but in the daytime I freeze. Huge mental barrier. Okay. That in itself is a simple question, but it also is a pretty deep question, okay? The good thing is, if you have no problem doing it during the night, then the transition isn't going to be too big or too hard for you, right? Because once you've essentially adopted the mindset that you can do it at night, it's only a matter of time and patience before you develop the mindset that you can do it in the day, okay? It does seem like a big mental barrier, but having said that, myself and all of the coaches in Sydney, you know, when we got there, it's like, all right, guys, day game, gotta get into it. Approach girls during the day, okay? And at the start, we were like, it felt a little bit of a freeze. You know, after a week of doing that, we all felt so much better about it, like so much better. After 6 weeks, you know, approaching girls in the club was weird, right? And it became like second nature, like, oh, there's a girl on the street, I'm going to go and talk to her. So there is, I know it is a mental barrier, and you stated that, but you will just have to push past it. I want you to adopt the 5-second rule. So they have the 3-second rule where you approach a girl straight away in the club. Adopt the 5-second rule where once you've seen a girl in the day, it's like, okay, after 5 seconds, I'm just going to go, I'm just going to do it. And you'll find, like, it will just open up. Girls will just open up because you're approaching them during the day, right? Once you have that reference experience that, oh, it's okay, I can do it, that barrier you'll start chipping away at that barrier. And very, very quickly, you should be able to break that down and then, you know, build up the mental muscle that it's okay and that you can approach during the day, right? There is a ton of stuff that will be coming in this program. Of course, it is the day game, phone game program, and there's a ton of content to get you to go. I would definitely look through all the modules that have been released already and revisit them. Perhaps there's a little bit of stuff in there that you missed to really, you know, get you going and get into it. But yeah, there is overall 40 hours of content of us approaching, of how to approach, of what to say, of how to get yourself in the mood, how to get outside of your head and actually just take action. But yeah, the simplest thing that I can give you on here is develop that 5-second rule and just go and approach. I even think back to, you know, when I first had to do some approach on camera, okay? And I was like, oh, massive mental block, I've got to approach on camera and record it. But I just went out and did it. Marco, yes, there's a ton of text, a ton of Tinder. There's, yeah, a whole heap of stuff in there on texting. But yeah, I had this mental block about going and approaching one girl because it was on camera, and I was like, oh, can I do this? But I just went and did it. It was awkward, it didn't go too well, but then I did it again, and then I did it again, and then I did it again, and it was fine. And I eventually got to the point where I was, you know, just able, in fact, there's one day where I just walked around the whole of Sydney City for maybe 2 hours and had like 6 solid interactions, like, okay, approach to interaction, 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 and they were all solid, all of them. There were a couple of blowouts in between, but overall over 2 hours, it was like really 6 solid approaches, and that was done through trusting in the process, trusting in myself, and just actually going out and doing it, and realizing that is the only real way to get results, is to actually go and do it. To get a little bit deeper, or to kind of finish up on that, I would say put yourself in a good mood where you're actually feeling good, okay? So if I wake up in the morning, I'm not necessarily in a good state to start approaching girls, right? Sometimes if I had a big weekend of going out and coaching like a boot camp or something, I'm not really in the mood to approach women like on a Monday, because I feel like I haven't really done much physical exercise, or I haven't done much actual work. And sometimes Mondays and Tuesdays are harder for me to talk to girls. As I progress throughout the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, welcome back, Chang. I really feel like I feel good. I feel like I've done a whole heap of stuff in my life during that. Sorry, I feel like I've done a whole heap of stuff that's important in my life during that week. So then when I actually go, I'm like, oh, okay, I want to meet people now. I want to go up and I want to talk to girls and I want to talk to guys. I just want to do like everything, right? Because I've been physically active, because I feel accomplished in what I've done. Like, after I've done this webinar with you guys, it makes me feel good. It invigorates me. So when I go out tomorrow, if I go to approach everyone, it's going to be heaps better than it would be on Thursday, which would have been heaps better than it would have been on Wednesday, which would have been heaps better than it was on Tuesday and Monday. So sometimes in order to get into that right mindset of just go, you do need to be be doing a little bit of let's say extracurricular activities, so non-game activities, to get yourself in the right rhythm of feeling good and feeling like you actually want to be social. Sometimes I don't want to be social. I want to talk to guys. I don't want to talk to my parents. I don't want to talk to anyone, my girlfriends or past girlfriends. I just don't want to talk to them because I'm not in a social mood. However, if I've done a whole heap of other things and I'm in a good mood, then I can talk to absolutely anyone, including girls. So that's really where you want to be. If you're struggling to just go, kind of take yourself and step out of game and perhaps go to the gym, or perhaps go for a run, or perhaps go and do some sport that you really, really enjoy, and then revisit it again. But yes, there is a ton of content in the whole program. I mean, I think we're only up to, 4th module now or something like that. Yeah. Not too much more I can say, but guys, but do have some patience. Some of you guys have asked if there's text modules in here. There's a ton of text. There's exactly what we've done over and over and over again, broken down. So that will all be covered. How much is too much complimenting? Michael, I would say two questions max. Because if you compliment too much, girls will think it's fake and they'll think that you're weak as well. So I always say with my compliments, something along the lines of, that's a really nice necklace that you have. I really like that on you. It works awesome. And then I would back it up with, I don't usually give girls compliments on their jewelry, so you should really take that one as a genuine compliment. I'll often say to girls with nose rings, you really suit a nose ring. Most girls do not suit a nose ring, so you should take that as a compliment. But yeah, 1 or 2 max. Compliments can be key, compliments can be king. But girls will get a sense for, this guy's just trying to compliment me, this guy's just trying to, get in my pants and that sort of stuff, or be nice. So yeah, 2 compliments max, genuine, back them up with, I don't give compliments very often, so you should take that one to heart. And if you are going to do it, make sure they're genuine, or as genuine as can be, really. Make sure they're not bullshit. Any more than 2 is too much, right? And try and space them out. So 1 at the start, maybe something visual. Nice jewelry. Oh, you look really great today. I love your sense of fashion. I love your sense of style. Wow, you just look really good. You've nailed the whole outfit today. And then something else later on, like their demeanor or the way they talk or something about them, okay? So you just go, oh, wow, nice jewelry, nice ring, nice watch, like, nice hair. It's like, yeah, bullshit. But if you can say something about how they're well dressed, and then something about their demeanor, or like, oh, you articulate your words extremely well, or you're very well spoken, I love your accent, those sorts of things, okay? These compliments are actually really good ways to, there's a term for it, but it basically, it's letting the girl know why you like them, and it actually makes them feel better about you liking them, right? Because they're like, oh, he just doesn't, why does this guy want to go on a date with him? Why does this guy want to take me out? They know why, because you like their fashion sense, you like having a conversation with them, okay? And they're going to be more receptive to wanting to see you again at a later date. So use your compliments wisely. Use them to convey how you feel, okay? Sometimes it's not necessarily about the exact compliment, it's more so about how you feel about the girl. And that in and of itself can be a very powerful thing. Daniel, I'm going to do another one in here, man. I'm going to be doing quite a lot, just for the day game, phone game product, exclusive to everyone in the group. I will be doing some other ones, Tinder next week, and then I'll probably do another one after that, so probably every week at this stage. So yeah, stay tuned for those. Yeah, if you guys can, just hold out till you see my little announcement about that I'm doing like a webinar. It'll be a day or two before that I do it. And then like you have done, just drop all your comments below. I love all these questions. They're all really, really good. And it gets me, really thinking about where you guys are at, how you want to get better, what's holding you back. And it really challenges me to come up with good, solid advice as well. Because I want to help you guys out as much as possible, obviously. Okay, hey Victor, how you going? Last question, and then I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. We've gone for almost an hour, 45 minutes, so how do I manage self-doubt? That's a really big one for a lot of guys. To be honest, I don't have much self-doubt anymore, but I did have a lot of self-doubt earlier, especially when I was younger, okay, because part of being young is doubting yourself. Part of being human is doubting yourself. Part of comparing yourself to women is doubting yourself, okay? There's always going to be doubt. Is that real? Is that fair? No, and sometimes you really just need to recognize it as your mind and your body sort of challenging you. Welcome back, Craig. But the best way to do it is become the third party to your mind and thoughts, okay? So you're here, you're in your head, right? You're like, what am I doubting, or what am I thinking, okay? Actually try and step back as best you can, step outside of that, and just go, are these actually valid thoughts? Half the time they're not even valid, they're not even relevant, and they're just a whole load of bullshit that your mind is telling you. So quite often you need to, as I said, step back and become the third party and go like, come on, these, why am I even thinking that? 2 days ago I was doubting myself with girls. I was like, oh. And then I'm like, what am I thinking? What am I doing? Sometimes you're just going to be in a stage of doubt. Sometimes you're going to be in a state of confidence. Sometimes you're going to be in a state of absolute certainty, okay? So yeah, it is essentially managing it, and the way to manage that is kind of just like let the thoughts blow past. If you focus on them and let them circulate in your mind, that's going to mess you up, but just let them blow past. And then maybe you think about them in a couple more days and you realise that that's, kind of like your mind playing tricks on you, that sort of stuff. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. It's been a solid hour 45. Thanks for listening. As always, thanks for your comments. As always, please stay tuned for all the coming modules, guys. This is going to be a really, really big program overall. It is a home study course. That's why we're delivering it in modules released every, I believe it's 3 to 5 days. Thanks, Tariq. See you, buddy. Because you have to get those modules under your belt. You have to really go into those. I know it may not be a whole heap of content right away, but that's the best way to deliver it to you. If we gave you everything, you'd just go straight for the infield. You'd just go straight for, all the flashy shit to sit at your computer and entertain you, and you wouldn't get anything out of it. You just go, oh yeah, that looks really cool, I'm going to go out and do that. And you wouldn't get that mastery, you wouldn't get that transformation. As I said, there's a ton of stuff coming on Tinder, there's a ton of stuff coming on text, there's tons and tons of infield. And there's, 40 hours of Alex talking, so stay tuned for that, guys. If you do have any questions, please feel free to message me, but message me and make sure you have them as in, hey, I'm in the Day Game Phone Game Mastery group, okay, so I know that you're given priority over everyone else. But yeah, try and save your questions for the live webinars, because it's much easier and better for me to deliver them to you on this medium, so you can actually see what I'm saying and speak it out loud as opposed to writing back in text. Alright, guys, have a good one. Speak to you soon. Bye.